Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to some more DC deck building. This is for the Arkham Asylum, the Shadows expansion. So this is a little mini expansion that was added onto the full Arkham Asylum core set. They did this previously with the Justice League Dark, as then they had the Injustice League Dark like mini expansion as well. It's just kind of a neat way to add a little tiny booster in this. Now, currently this comes in the big giant box. With the full Kickstarter box set of Arkham Asylum, but it will be released as a separate expansion later on. There are Kickstarter exclusive cards in here, though. I'll go over those at the very end. So if you're getting those, make sure you're buying the big giant box here that does say in there that has Kickstarter exclusives for the Arkham Asylum Shadows set. Because otherwise, it's just going to show these regular cards in the main set. I don't think they're going to come in a separate box. So yeah, getting the big giant box with both sets is the only way to get the Kickstarter exclusive stuff. That being said, if you haven't checked out the previous videos, definitely check those out, because we go over the first one, we go over the new rules, we talk about bribing, freezing cards, victory point tokens, hostages, some of the stuff that will show up in this little set here, as well as, and then the second video goes over the core set, and the third one goes over all of the Kickstarter exclusives for the Arkham set. Check out those if you haven't, as well as any of the other videos that are in the links in the description. So what is new in this set? So in the Arkham set, you're playing as obviously a bunch of Arkham villains. You have Joker, Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, Mr. Freeze, Penguin, all those cool guys. So here you're getting the League of Shadows, and it's kind of fun because you're getting a couple of bad guys to play as, but you're also getting a couple more good guys. So you're kind of getting the reverse if you want to play with some of the heroes against the villains, which is kind of a fun little mix. Now, there's not a lot of extra brand new rules in here. Just also to re-mention is that each of the oversized characters with the Arkham Asylum base game has a signature starter card. So they replace one of your punches in there. If you're playing with characters that, like, I have a character that has one, someone else doesn't, you can randomly give them one of the other cards, or let them pick from all the cards you have. So they may or may not work very well with your character. Nemesis cards, which are the superheroes and supervillains we get to fight. The term Nemesis is a combination of superhero and supervillain are interchangeable. So the red ones are supervillains you're fighting, blue ones are superheroes. This actually contains both. So you can mix them together, or you can add them again with the other sets and other things to play against different characters. We have victory point tokens, bribing cards. I'm not going to go over all that too much. One brand new thing we have in here is a 2 versus 2 team variant. This game has two teams of 2 players battle across the streets of Gotham City. Teammates just sit next to each other so they can compare hands, discuss strategies, and put their team coffer card between them. You choose that both players team play only supervillains, superheroes, or allow a mix of either. Similarly, you may choose that each team's nemesis stack be only superheroes, supervillains, or a mix of both. For the setup, in turn order, deal with turn order cards, so the player and teams have numbers 1 and 3, and the others have 2 and 4. Character selection, deal with 3 characters for each and let them select, or however you decide to select your characters. Nemesis stack, each team creates a nemesis stack with 1 nemesis of each levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, places a stack on their side. Should be in ascending order. Starting VP, second player gets 1 VP. So we're going to have a couple of new cards here, just to look at that quick. We're going to have 4 small cards. 2 green, 2 purple. So basically, Team A is going to have the green cards. Team B is going to have the purple cards. And this is just to remind you of who's who and who's what. You may spend your VAP from your team's coffer to bribe cards. It says the same thing on there. And the back side just has, instead if you want to play black and white versus purple and green. So if you kind of want to go good guys versus bad guys type of idea. So that's kind of a fun little mechanic. It's kind of like tech looking versus Asylum looking is the idea. So you can have Batman versus Joker, or, you know, however you want to look at that. So that's pretty cool there. And then we have our team coffer cards, which have the same idea. Now, you know, someone's going to ask this is, so what if I own this set and somebody else owns it? Could you play an 8-player game? These two colors versus each other. Absolutely. Go ahead. Game's already designed to be played pretty much up to 4 players easily, 5 maybe, or 5 players, maybe up to 6, so there's no reason why you couldn't add more. So what does Team Coffers do? It says, place one of your BP tokens into this card to use a team ability. Passing next card at the cost of 7 or less, you would gain this card into your teammate's discard pile, or your teammate may use a defense card you have to avoid an attack. VP here cannot be lost or stolen. So this is a way for you to kind of like spend your VP instead of bribing and getting rid of it or spending on other abilities. You can turn it in here to either help your team by giving them a cost, and giving them a card to kind of help them out. The crisis sets do this a little bit as well. But this kind of works more in like a versus mode. Or you may have, you may use a defense to help your teammate, but you have to spend VP to do it. So you can't just do it all willy-nilly. So it's just an extra little interesting thing to do. But since you can talk to the other player and see what they have, you can be like, okay, like you're playing Batman and I'm Robin, that's Joker and Harley Quinn. Like, oh, okay, well, like as Batman and Robin, we need equipment cards. We need to keep them from getting what? Villain cards or doing this. And you kind of confer on what you want to do, see what's in your hand. Like, oh, dude, you have this card that's going to really help you out next turn. Here, let me spend a card, buy you this, since I have enough points to buy it. Yeah, so you can do some cool stuff there. Players take their individual turn based on the number. They'll have teams alternating turns, so it's player 1, then player 2 on the other team, then player 3, then player 4 back to the other team. Feel free to ask for advice on which cards to buy or destroy, but each player has a final decision on what they do, so no alpha gamering. Attack cards you play only affect players on the opposing team. You only defeat Nemesis cards in their team's Nemesis stack. When you defeat a Nemesis, the Nemesis first appearance attack only affects you and your teammates if a Nemesis on ongoing ability does not affect the opposing team. It just kind of explains how to do those 2 abilities a little bit more. Note, you cannot use the ability on the team coffer if you do not have any VP tokens. VP on the team coffer cannot be lost or stolen, but can be used by either player to bribe cards during their turn. A team may use a combination of their own VP tokens and VP tokens from their team cards to bribe. So that's kind of fun. You can still spend that. End of the game, ends like normal, and the Nemesis stack is emptied or the lamp cannot be refilled. Each player counts their VP like normal. Scores determined by adding together individual EP plus the VP on their coffer. They're the weakest link game mode for players who want even more equipment or challenges variant. It's the same rule as Team versus 2, but changes how the winning team is determined. The players are counting their VP, divide the VP tokens on the team coffer between each player on the team. If there's an odd number, it goes to the player on the team with the fewest VP. Each team scores equal to the VP on the player of the team with the lower total. So instead of adding everything together, it's whoever has the lowest amount. Kind of the neat idea about that would be is because that way you can't have one player carrying the game for everybody else. Like one's like, I'm just going to spend cards to keep feeding him, paying BP, spending that to give my other player a bunch of cards, and then I have nothing to do. I had a version of this game, not like this, we playing 4 players. It's a normal game, but someone was playing Batman, and they kept buying, like, because Batman had, like, in the original ones, had some, like, ridiculous equipment gaining abilities, and they're just buying all the cards. So then we got to the end of the game, and we had to defeat the last villain. It said every player has to defeat them. Well, the problem that would happen is that player had been buying all the cards and gaining everything. The other 2 players were having trouble getting enough good cards and enough turns to eventually do it. And then me, who'd been basically, like, because we were playing a Crisis game, I was playing Aquaman, I was giving everybody else cards to boost all their stuff up. I had almost nothing to do anything because I couldn't buy any cards because the other players buying them, and I kept giving the few away I could to help everybody else because I didn't realize the last card needed that. So, yeah, just interesting. A little anecdote. But, alright, so let's go ahead and jump into these cards and see what we got. Enough of me rambling, right? Alright, so our first villain we get to play as Bane. I do like this as a kind of a fun set because it's like, yeah, we get to play some of the villains, but they're not all, like, not every Batman villain is from Arkham. You just generally think of that as his rogues gallery is the Arkham Asylum villains, and it's not, because a lot of them don't ever go to Arkham. Bane usually goes to Blackgate Prison. Each time you play a weakness, play +1 power. You may look at the top card of your deck. If you do, discard it or return it. His brand new signature starter card is Venom Injector. +1 power, gain 1 VP for each weakness you control. You may destroy a starter card in your hand or discard pile. If you do, gain a weakness. Cool. To gain extra weaknesses in that, it's not bad. Ra's al Ghul, who has the first time you play an ongoing card. During each of your turns, reveal the top card of your deck. If you reveal a card of VP of 0 or less, draw it. So you're going to gain bonuses for 0 VP cards. Then you get Oob, ongoing defense. Put this card on the bottom of your deck to avoid an attack. If you do, gain 1 VP. And our last villain we're going to get is the Red Hood, who has end of your turn. If you control 4 or more cards with different types, gain 1 VP. So he gains a bonus for playing a bunch of stuff. So it's kind of interesting because all the Red Hood stuff from the base game had to do with, and Kickstarter stuff had to do with him bribing. So I kind of wish he had more of a bribe ability. It's kind of neat. But here we have Outlaw. So you may gain a card with a cost of 5 or less. You bribe this turn. There we go. If you choose not to, gain +1 power. So that kind of works nice with him. So that's kind of fun. So we get a bunch of the darker characters we get to play. 2 League of Assassins. Now I'm surprised with that they didn't have at least a Talia al Ghul in here as well. At bare minimum for our villains, and then maybe a Lady Shiva would have been cool. Just to kind of finish off the League of Shadows, that would have been a little bit, but, it's what it is. What's also fun, though, with these starter cards is if you have the core set, and then this set, you have more starter cards to share amongst other characters. Plus, then if you get the Kickstarter stuff, you have a lot more extra characters to play. But that's not all the oversized characters we get. We get some heroes to play. So this can actually work really well with playing the team mode. So now you have some Bat family characters to play against the League of Shadows, or the League of Shadows can team up with you against the Arkham characters. However you like to do that. Come on, Robin, focus. So this is good old little gamey in here. Oh, there's going to focus because of the shine on there. Alright, it says you may put any card with a cost of 4 or less you gain from the lineup on top of your deck. Alright, so then Robin's card is Goliath. +1 power. If you play 3 or more different non-starter cards with a cost of 4 or less this turn, gain 1 VP and you may destroy a card in your hand or discard pile. Cool. Up next, we have Batman, of course. Can't have the Bat family without Batman. Once per turn, you may put a card that costs less than the number of different card types and only the cards you control from your discard pile on top of your deck. Interesting. So if you play 2 different types of cards, you can only play a 1 cost. If you play 5 different cards, you could put a 4 cost card on top of your deck. So nice. So basically, the more variety you play, the more various stuff you gain into, you have better chances of playing stuff. Alright, here's his utility belt, of course. +1 power. You may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. If none of them share a card type, gain 1 VP. You may discard 1 revealed cards and put the rest back in any order. I like this. It's bonuses for playing variety of cards as opposed to him just being an equipment guy. We have Batgirl, Cassandra Cain. Says, each time you gain or play an attack card, you may look at the top card of your deck, discard it, or return it. And then she has Silent Fighter. +1 power, defense. Discard this card to avoid an attack. If you do, put an attack card from your discard pile into your hand or gain 1 VP. We have Dick Grayson's Nightwing. Ongoing, once per turn, if you play a superpower this turn, you may discard a card to draw a card. Once per turn, if you play 2 or more equipment, gain a VP. Now, this is interesting because this is the signature card he has. It's not actually a starter card. He gets an equipment. I don't know why they broke the mold for him and him alone, because no other character has one of these. But he has skirmish sticks, +1 power, mill it to the top card of your deck. I could have just easily made it a starter and call it the same thing. I don't think anyone would have cared. And then finally we have Oracle, Barbara Gordon, who has once per turn, if you play a hero this turn, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a hostage, draw it. Otherwise, gain VP equal to the card's revealed value. Stars are equal to 3. And then she has her card is Information Network. +1 power, you may put a card at a cost of 3 or less from your discard pile on top of your deck. So yeah, definitely if you play that, and then, hey, you can do this. Play a hero, be the top card of your deck. You can possibly gain whatever its ability is. So that's pretty cool. So we have all of those. Let's look at some villains we get to fight. So we have some super villains we get to fight against. Our nemesis, we have Deadshot. You may destroy a card in your hand or discard pile. Ongoing, once per turn. If you gain any VP this turn, draw a card. The Bronze Tiger. So level 2. +3 power to the top card of your deck. Draw it or discard it. Draw it or destroy it, sorry. First appearance attack. Each player gains a weakness, and the players with the highest total VP cards in their hand gain additional weakness. The Black Spider. Gain a card that costs 5 or less from the left. Put it into your hand if you cannot gain 2 VP. First appearance attack. Each player discards a random card. You may pay 1 VP to destroy a card in your discarded. King Snake. +3 power, and you pay 1 less to buy an attack and defense cards this turn. First appearance attack. Each player reveals the top 3 cards of their deck and discards all revealed cards at a cost of 3 or greater. The KG Beast. Draw 2 cards. You may pay 1 VP to destroy a card in your hand or discard pile. First appearance attack. Players the highest total cards in their hand lose 2 VP. Cheshire. Villain. Ongoing, once per turn. You may destroy a card in your lineup. If you do, +1 power and surge. First appearance attack. Each player gains a weakness and discard card unless they pay 2 VP. Lady Clay. Ooh, I haven't seen her before. Play the top card of the player's deck, then return each foe's card. First appearance attack. Each player gains the top card of the main deck and releases a card in their hand or discard pile to cost greater than the card they gained. Ooh, that could be, because you could do like a 3 and then this guy's of a 4, and not too bad. But let's say you got like a 6. Let's say you drew a 3, but then your next highest card in your hand is an 8. Also, you have to, that could suck. We have Orphan, David Kane. +3 power and choose a foe. Attack, steal 1 VP from that foe. First appearance attack. Each player destroys a hero or equipment in their hand or discard pile unless they pay 2 VP. Hey, there's our Lady Shiva. +3 power. You may put an attack or defense card from your discard pile into your hand. First appearance attack. Each player destroys a villain or superpower in their hand or discard pile unless they pay a VP. Just as kind of, you could argue instead of playing as the Shadow characters, you're fighting against the Shadow League. So you could even have Arkham kind of facing off against the League of Shadows, which could be like this deck of cards here, instead of fighting the superheroes. You have Talia al Ghul, +3 power, an additional +1 power for each ongoing card you control. First appearance attack. Each player releases a bribe card in their hand and discard pile. For each, you cannot gain a weakness. We have Bane. 14, dang. Who is a level 4. I want to note this. He is a final villain, so we get 1 of him. First appearance attack. Each player flips their character face down for the rest of the game. If you avoid this attack, destroy a card with 2 VP and value 2 greater from your hand or discard pile. Dang, that sucks. You can stop your characters. And they have another 4th card, which is a final one, which is Ra's al Ghul. Unavailable first appearance attack. Each player destroys 3 total cards in their hand at a cost of 1 or greater in their hand and their discard pile and or they control. Very, very interesting. Alright, then we get some heroes to fight. So if you want to just add these guys into the Arkham set to fight some more different heroes, we have the Signal. +3 power. Defense, discard this to destroy. Discard this card to avoid an attack. If you do, draw 2 cards. We have the Creeper. reveal and draw top 2 cards of the deck. For each card with a cost of 2 or less, reveal this way, +1 power. First appearance, attack. Each player releases a card with a even cost of 2 or greater in their hand or discard pile unless they gain a weakness. Katana. +3 power, and you may destroy a card in the lineup. If you do, gain HVP equal to its value. First appearance, attack. Each player destroys 2 random cards in their discard pile and gains BP equal to their VP of one of the destroyed cards. Metamorpho. This kind of, this reminds me of, this is Batman's extra team. And now I can't think of the name of it. The Outsiders. This is what this team is. You're fighting off against the Outsiders. So you have Metamorpho. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Draw any number of revealed cards with different card types and discard the rest. First appearance, attack. Each player discards 3 cards with different card types. We have Black Lightning. It's a level 3 hero. Reveal and draw cards from the top of your deck until you have drawn a total of 2 BP or greater worth of cards. First appearance, attack. Each player discards a superpower and equipment. For each, you cannot lose a VP. And our final one, we have another level 4, is Nightwing. First appearance, attack. Each player reveals 2 random cards from their hand. Then either releases those cards or releases the rest of their cards in their hand. If you avoid this attack, gain 2 weakness cards. Very cool. Also neat that we got 3 different level 4s, because now it gives you more options for that final character. You can shuffle them up so you don't know who you're going to fight against. That's always kind of the downside when you're like, oh, there's only one boss. I know who my boss is every time, even if the rest of the deck is different. Cool. Alright, let's check out some regular villains we can purchase and use. We have Clue Master. There's only 1 copy of each of these unless otherwise noted. Who has the bribe mechanic. Ongoing, once per turn, you may discard a card. If you do, +1 power. Victor Zaz. +2 power, you may destroy an ongoing card you control to draw a card. Punch and Julie. Ongoing, the first time you play a villain each turn, including this one, you may play a card at the cost of 0 from your discard pile into your hand. And Anarchy. +2 power and choose a foe. Attack that foe, discards a random card. And some heroes we can get is we have Jim Corrigan. You may discard an ongoing card you control. Go to the top 3 cards of your deck. If you do, discard any number of them, put the rest back in, or draw a card. And again, we have the bribe on the Gotham Police. Grace Choi. Ongoing, the first time you play a hero each turn, including this one with the top card of your deck, destroy it or return it. Thunder, +1 power and draw a card. Ongoing defense, discard this from play to avoid an attack. If you do, gain a VP. And then we have Geoforce. +2 power, you may put up to 2 ongoing cards from your discard pile into your hand. And then we do have 2 copies of Hired Hit. Superpower with Harley Quinn there. +1 power, put a bribe card from your discard pile into your hand. And 2 copies of Break the Back. +1 power and draw a card. Attack for each both a nemesis in their hand or discard pile gains a weakness. We have 2 copies of Gas Canisters Equipment card. Ongoing, once per turn. If you played an equipment, including this one, during this turn, you may put a defense from your hand or discard pile on top of your deck. We have a Flaming Blade, take for Azrael there. +2 power, you may destroy a card in your discard pile. If you do, destroy a card of the VP value 1 or greater this turn, gain 2 VP. And Katana's Soul Taker Sword, which has +3 power, you may put a card at the cost of 1 or greater from the destroy pile on the bottom of your main deck. If you do, gain VP equal to its cost. Cool. And then we have some new locations. We have Lazarus Pit for a Racial Ghoul. Ongoing, after you destroy a card, you may discard this from play to gain that card from the destroy pile. And then we have Sanka Priska for Bane. Ongoing, once per turn, you may destroy a card of the VP value of 1 or greater from your discard pile to gain 1 VP. So very cool. Yeah, so some really extra neat stuff in there for that set. Then what we have, I didn't show off these. We also have the expansion holder for the regular deck of cards and the divider. No oversized one for the oversized characters, so they'll just have to be mixed into the Arkham set, or you'll have to make your own separate divider for them. That is up to you. I don't know why they didn't include that. Then we have our Kickstarter exclusive cards. We have 3 heroes to look at with their signature cards. We have the Signal. So you get these guys will be, again, these are in that big giant box, so they probably aren't going to be in the small box at all, or ever separate, so you'll have to kind of look out for them. Each time you gain a superpower from the lap, you may put it on top of your deck to gain a VP. His signature card is the Stealth Mode. +1 power defense, discards to avoid an attack. If you do, you may put a superpower that costs 5 or less from your discard pile on top of your deck. And we get Azrael, Jean-Paul Valley. The first time you destroy a card you don't own each turn, gain 1 VP. Each time you destroy a villain, draw a card. His signature is the Suit of Sorrows. +1 power, you may destroy a card that costs 5 or greater in the lineup. And then our final hero for the set is Batgirl Stephanie Brown, so if you want to play more as the Bat family. The first time you play an equipment each of your turn, you may discard a card to draw a card, and then discard a villain to gain a VP. Not to say the other guys aren't part of the Bat family, though. And then hers is spoiler alert, Kashish could be spoiler. +1 power and gain additional 1 power for each card you discard this turn. So very cool. So yeah, you can add them into your other characters. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 5 heroes in the set, so this would give you, with these, would give you an additional 3 heroes to play as. So you have some extra options if you want to play a 5-player game. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so that's what we have for the Arkham Asylum Shadows expansion. If you, again, haven't checked out the other Arkham sets, check those out. If you haven't checked out, why don't you check out the link in the description for other games that came in the Kickstarter campaign set, which were like the other crossover sets and some other fun little promotional things. Check out all the links. See you guys there. Bye.